Welcome and thanks for tuning in to this episode of Conversations with the Wastewater Whisperer, Lewis Titus of Titus Wastewater Solutions. Lewis, I'd like to continue our conversation about oxidation ditches. And something that I'm trying to wrap my head around is that I know quite a bit about your floating aerator and basically the principles of how that works in a lagoon situation. I like to think of it as like a giant Roomba for a lagoon in the way that it moves around. But from everything that I understand in an oxidation ditch, you can't do that. That the water can't move around circularly. It has to go in one direction. And so you've said to me, we figured out a way to use what we developed and is working so well in the FL, but adapting it to an oxidation ditch. So how does that work?
Well, a couple of big differences. This is called a stationary directional flow. And what that means is it doesn't move around. The floating aerator bobs all over the pond, and we want it to do that. But if we did that in a concrete ditch in tight quarters, you'd destroy the machine because it'd be rubbing on the concrete. And so it has to be a stationary device. And we didn't want a lot of complicated anchoring systems, so we're basically using weight to anchor it in place. And we can add more weight. We can put as much weight as we want on it. And so basically, we went from a circular design, 360-degree discharge, to a square design, if you will. And it has an intake at the bottom, similar to the floating aerator, but it's on one side. It's on the upstream side of the upstream ditch part. It's on the bottom, and it has one of our patented frost conical air pipes in it with a EPDM membrane diffuser with about 40,000 tiny slits in it. So it is a fine bubble diffuser, and it's an airlift pump. So as that water gets sucked in from the bottom and the air is released from that frost conical diffuser, which is quite large, that air goes up through the machine, it pushes water, and it goes up and curves out, and we discharge it at 15 degrees subsurface. So some of our other patents are on subsurface discharge. And so we utilized some of our existing patents, and we just kind of reconfigured it. At the end of the day, it's now directional. It's pulling in from one direction and discharging strictly the other opposite direction. So it accomplished everything we needed to do with very similar technology to the floating aerator.